Hi, I'm Phil Ireland. I'm the Australian tracker with the Adopt a Negotiator project for Tick Tick Tick. Yesterday we had a meeting with Christiana, the Executive Secretary of the United Nations Framework Convention of Climate Change. We were meeting with her to share our concerns about the process and our hopes for the process and get her impression around how things are moving, where she expects to see progress and where she expects to see blockages.
What kind of personal rapport do you feel that you as a group of young people have with her?
We've met with Christiana a couple of times now and it's always been really positive. In our first meeting I actually asked a question around, how can we not be cynical about this process given it's gone on for so long and progress is slow? And she gave a really impassioned response saying that we have no right to be cynical because we're young. When we've been around this process for decades, then we have a right to complain. But now, if we're not hopeful, then where is the space for hope? She has a really great personal rapport with us and she's actually really passionate about the issue and committed. She actually got a little emotional in our meeting yesterday when we talked about what's her inspiration for this process. And she talked about hope for the future and her children and wanting to pass on a better world for them. To me, she's a really authentic and genuine person, and I'm actually really encouraged that she is the Executive Secretary of this process at the moment.
Meeting inspiring people such as Christiana or even peers amongst the negotiator tracker, how important is that for you in terms of battling on climate change issues?
It's really important, and the really core message is that climate change is about people. It is about future generations, and one of the reasons I'm motivated in this process is that it's the poor and vulnerable who stand to lose so much as a result of climate change. And this process is fundamentally about people, and it's people that make up this process and people that need to push it along. So without those hopeful interactions, it's a pretty dim process, to be honest.
What would you say to the individuals or member of the press who are inclined to rubbish this whole process and in fact inclined to just give up?
I'd be quite critical of that, to be honest, because I think that actually plays into the hands of the detractors of this process and those that don't actually want to see progress. The United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change is the best process we have at the moment to deal with this issue. It can come to key decisions and it does have the capacity to deliver a fair, ambitious and binding treaty on climate change. This process is crucial to addressing the problem and there's really no alternative at this point in time. It's the only process that enables all countries to have a voice, all people to have a voice through the UN framework.